Hello everyone, I am Bieber, and this is the Rise Atlantis show. Hallelujah. Today, the topic of the day will be about a very strange, controversial thing Pope Francis said. Now, he said a lot of strange, controversial things before, but this is one of the most extreme. So, what he said was, exact quote, he said to a gay person, he said that God made you this way and God loves you this way. Now, it's very strange, because for him to say that God made him that way, it's very strange. I see what he's trying to do. He's trying to make peace and all, but at the same time, he's using the wrong words and going about it the wrong way. So I do agree with him trying to make peace, but then I don't agree with him on how he's going about it. So it's just very strange stuff indeed. And the Pope should not be saying this stuff. The Pope should be saying that God doesn't agree with it, but that as long as you live a good life, He will be forgiven. That's in my opinion, that's how the way it should be said. So that is the topic of the day, and it's just, I wonder what next Pope Francis is going to say next and do. What is he going to say and do next? Okay, so first story is discovery of an interstellar visitor. This comes into relation with strange meteor that passed by called Oumuamua, the one that looked like a giant cigar-shaped asteroid. Now, my theory on that is it was from a planet that exploded a long time ago, and that's what caused it to stretch. And that theory is not a stretch. Get it? That's the joke of the day. Okay, so now this is like another strange object in space. Let's see here. He said that it's been here for quite a while. In fact, the exoasteroid known as 2015 BZ509 has been around since 4.5 billion years ago. So, the fact that it's been around for so long doesn't mean it's like been staying in one spot. It's always been going in orbit, so it gets close to the planet and far and close and far. It's like the seasons, So, I predict we're going to be seeing more strange objects in space. And I have a theory that maybe there could be, the flat earthers that say Earth is flat. Now, my opinion is the Earth isn't flat. You keep going a straight distance, eventually you'll reach the other side of the world. But I do agree this world is flat in a different way. It's flat as in dull and boring compared to the kingdom of heaven. So that's the comical way I reference flat Earth. As, the world is flat, dull, and boring compared to heaven. Don't get me wrong, this world is beautiful, but it's got its bad sides as well. This world is heaven and hell both put together, so it's like, I'm not being a pessimistic saying that this world is 100% bad. It's 50-50 here, but in heaven it's going to be 100% perfection, so, now this right here, the size of it in the yellow circle is like very far away. Let me see if you can see the yellow circle in this lighting. There it is. Barely see it. Doesn't say the size of it. Doesn't say the size. Maybe the size of Earth. Who knows? Maybe half. So, strange story indeed. Oh yeah, when I was going to talk about flat Earth, my theory is, in heaven could be a colony of planets. Heaven could be a colony of planets, and how it'll work is like, we think of heaven as just one planet only, I mean, we don't see the big picture here. My theory is God is a humongous entity of spirit, so large that he creates the planets with his hands like this, forms it into being, and then he spins it in orbit with his fingers, and it's always in perpetual motion of the orbit. He creates the same way, he creates the sun the same way with his hands, by molding it, bringing it into formation. Because my theory, God is the only magician that can bring forth something out of thin air. And in my opinion, no human on earth has the power to do that. The only power that human ever had was Jesus. And there ain't going to be another Jesus. The only one, man, and he's coming back. There's not two Jesus like the Dead Sea Scrolls says. So my theory is, if God is a giant being of spirit, and if heaven is more than one planet, it could be a colony of planets. And my theory is a colony of planets will be all around God. A couple of planets above his head, a couple of planets below his feet, a couple of planets to his side, a couple of planets in the front and the back. Now it could be one each, forming like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or there might be more. It might be around 7 to maybe 10, 20 planets. Who knows? I don't think it'll be too much. Maybe 50 would probably be the most. And these planets are going to be big. They're going to hold a lot of people in it. So, that's a pretty cool idea I have of heaven. I have visions of heaven. I believe it's not just my imagination thinking this. I believe I'm getting telepathic, through telepathy, God sending me these ideas, Because, all the scientists, they say, oh, it's just imagination. But I believe in the higher power here, There's a higher force here, that is giving me these ideas, And who knows? Planets in heaven may not look like circles. They may look like squares, triangles even, pyramid planets. Definitely no relation to the pyramids in Egypt with all the hieroglyphics of the alien hieroglyphics and all, saying that people worshiping them as gods coming down from the sky in the hieroglyphics, So definitely not saying that triangle-shaped planets in heaven is connected to the pyramids of Egypt and hybrid worship and all that. Definitely not. God will flip the script on science and evil. Say that, the only flying saucers that are allowed are in heaven, with no monsters. The only pyramids that are allowed are in heaven, with no monsters allowed. And the pyramids that they have here on earth, they are occultism. In heaven, the pyramids are not going to be occultism. It's going to be all about God here, So there won't be no half-human, half-animal hybrid creatures walking around roaming heaven. There won't be clones. Now, it's strange because a lot of people do look alike. And the very same thing that I fight against, human cloning for eternal life, that Rael and his followers say, is the very thing we could be in heaven. clones. There's 8 billion of us on Earth. How many have existed since the beginning of time? So there's a whole bunch of lookalikes in heaven. So the way I hope God can work around this, resolve that, is giving us different unique identities. I don't know what it'd be. I know in heaven it says we'll all have a unique name. Now that's just a start. You know, maybe slight differences in people's voices. And when it comes to height, I believe we're all going to be around the same height. There's not going to be tall people and short people. We're all going to be the same height. Which height, I don't know, but we're not going to be too short or too tall either. You know, so when people say that they have these theories that the Earth is flat, the flat earthers, you know, I get a good laugh out of that, because, you know, I have ideas that planets could be different shapes in heaven. And heaven could be a colony of planets. So it's very fascinating stuff. So the topic of the day will be about the strange thing that the Pope said. Okay, so getting back to the first news story about this this meteor that has been there for so long. Now, we saw the cigar-shaped meteor. I believe we could be seeing square meteors. We could be seeing, again, triangle meteors. I mean, who knows? You know, maybe God can even form these meteors to make all the scientists scratch their heads and be like, what? You know, so that's a theory I have, that God can bring forth anything imaginable. Stuff we would never think about, God is already planning it, you know, so it's very fascinating stuff. Next story is, this is big. I applaud China. China takes a critical first step towards landing on the far side of the moon. And why after all this time? And I'm very disappointed with America for ending the space race. You know, if we really did go, then why did they stop? It seems that it was hoax just to beat the Russians with Sputnik and all that. You know, and just to get all the money and all that from the from winning the space race, you know. Because they say there's no wind on the moon. Now, how is the flag on the video of the moon landing, how is it blowing in the wind? If there's no wind, it clearly could be a very big clue that it's a hoax. They also say we have powerful telescopes that we could be able to zoom all the way in with a telescope and be able to see the flag, and it's not able to be visible at all. Another reason why the moon landing could be fake. You know, and of course the third was because it was a space race, and whoever got there first got, you know, the grand prize of the notoriety of being the first, you know. So I think it was all just fabricated, man. So much proof about it. Now China is actually, I believe this is a manned space trip. I believe it's not a drone. Let me see. It might be a drone. Let me see here. It might be a drone. Let me check. It looks like it's a drone. It's saying the spacecraft. They're not saying anything about a manned trip. Let's see here. Yeah, they said the mission will include a rover to undertake scientific excursions. So it's a drone. Even though it's a drone, it's still a very, very big step. They need to send people there again, you know, because astronauts could do way more than drones can do, you know. Rovers, they're very limited to what they can do. They can't really build the same. They can't really dig in the same, you know. They really don't have the same manpower that humans, that astronauts do. So we need to send humans to the moon. And we need to establish bases. We need to start, you know, building some Starbucks there and start having some tourism there, you know. And all that money generated should go to helping poverty. Next story is, this is cool. The 21 creepiest haunted houses in America. I wish it would give me a quick list. I'll just name them right off the bat. The Whaley House. Let's see where. I hate how it's so hard to get to the main part. San Diego, okay. Joshua Ward House. And Washington Street. Let's see here. La Real, that's a hard word to say. La Laurie House. Speaking of L'Oreal, I believe tomorrow I'll do the video of is it the L'Oreal or Yanni thing that's all over the internet. It's weird because I hear both. When you hear them at different volumes, you hear different ones. So it's all in sound frequencies. It's weird. So that'll be a topic of the day tomorrow. The Laurie House is in oh man, I have me phlegm all the time. I'm not even sick. It's just allergies. So the Laurie House is in New Orleans. Queen Anne Hotel. That sounds like... You'd think Queen Anne would be in England, right? It's San Francisco, California. The Lizzie Borden House. And where? Fall River, Massachusetts. The Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel. Obviously in Hollywood. The Crescent Hotel. That sounds like a Muslim. And where? Springs, AR. I don't think it's Arizona. I think it's Arkansas. Franklin Castle. In, where is it? Ohio City. The Hotel Chelsea in New York. The Soden House in LA. Lemp Mansion. Doesn't even look that great. That's an old style mansion. In St. Louis, the Buccaneer Mansion. There's a lot of them. In New Orleans again, the Logan Inn. And so if you're in any of these places, that'd be cool for you to check it out. In New Hope, Pennsylvania. That was the Logan Inn. The Myrtles Plantation in Louisiana. The Winchester House in San Jose, California. Stanley Hotel, I've heard of that one. Stephen King's Inspired for The Shining was there. Wow. That's why I heard of it. Let's see here. That is where? In Estes Park, Colorado. That's weird, Estes. The Casadaga Hotel. These words are hard to say. In Casadaga, Florida. The Kreshner Mansion. And Staten Island, New York. Is that where it is? That was the 18th. It said 21. Okay, so I guess I'll just leave it at that one. I'll just do a quick rundown of the pictures here on what they look like. So it's pretty cool, you know. Ghost hunting is a fascinating field, you know. I wish all atheists would ghost hunt so they could get their proof. But a lot of times they're scared. So these atheists, they talk a big deal like they're not scared of anything. But you try to convince them to go ghost hunt, and a lot of them chicken out, you know. 'Cause it's that fear, you know, like it's that fear, you know. I guess what it is a lot of people become atheists because they hate God for circumstances they're in, whether it be poverty, death, family members, friends dying, you know, accidents. I mean, you name it. And that is my theory why a lot of people become atheists, because they get angry at God. But, you know, the way I see it is we should not have our anger at God. We should have our anger at the people who do the things, you know, because it's not God that does it. It's the people that do it, you know, and that's why God put people in power to keep things afloat, but a lot of them mess things up due to corruption and stuff. So that's why there's a hell. You know, they're definitely going to burn. So even though it's circumstances are bad on earth, the evil people will get their due. Amen. They will get what's coming to them. They will get their karma. Even though they get away with it for so long on earth, I guarantee you, eventually they will feel the fires of hell. It reminds me of that cop, that, what is it called? The Golden State Killer. For over like 50, 60 years, was it? He got away with not murdering just one people, but a bunch of people, even children. It was like another Jeffrey Dahmer, you know? And he got away with it for over 50, 60 years, and he thought that he would go to his grave without going to prison. But little did he know that DNA from Ancestry.com would be what did him in. So I think that's great, but at the same time, it seems Pandora's box. It seems voodoo. What if they start using this Ancestry thing to fabricate DNA also? So it's a very dangerous tread that they're going on. It's a brave new world, like it says, and there's a it's all in the power of the beholder. You know, it could be you could use that power for good or evil, you know. So next story is okay, what's going on here? The mystery of Sweden's bizarre mass disappearance. How many people? Making it sound like a pre-rapture or something. Now it seems 9/11 was a pre-rapture. But that was only what, like 2,000-3,000 people? Which was a lot. But you hear of like hundreds and thousands, millions dying in tsunamis. It's like, it's crazy, man. 9/11 was bad. But if you think about all these tsunamis and, you know, hundreds of thousands of people, close to 1 million people dying from, you know, tsunamis and stuff like that, it's just, it makes 9/11 seem not that bad in terms of death-wise. I know 9/11 was a whole lot of destruction, you know, and the shock, the fear it put us all in. And, you know, the lasting repercussions, we're still fighting terrorism, and we're going to be fighting it till the end of time, you know. And how many soldiers have died in this war on terrorism? Around 5,000-10,000. It's just, you know, it's so absurd. It's never going to end, you know. And the death toll is just too much. I hope Jesus really returns and put a stop to the bloodshed. I hope that God puts an end to the hemorrhaging. The world is hemorrhaging, bleeding to death, you know. But Jesus is returning to stop the hemorrhaging. So this is not saying how many people were involved. You're having to go digging through all these words just to get the main stuff here. July 29, 1965, when they went missing, but how many? God, man. I wish they'd simplify the news. I mean, I agree they want to add more for people who love to read, but have like the main info at the top and then the rest of the info in the middle and the bottom. That's how it should be. And a lot of times they put the main info in the middle or even at the very end, you know. So they try to save the best for the end, but so they need to have like instant. It needs to be instant. It's not saying how many people. This is a whole important part of this the topic here is how many people were involved, and it's not saying. I hate it how it's just so clustered, you know, it's unorganized. So I don't know how many disappeared, didn't say. Next story, Mike Pompeo, that's a funny word. Sounds like Pompeii, right, with the volcano and hey, I'm seeing a revelation here. Mike Pompeo sounds like Pompeii with the volcano and how it took out the utopia like Atlantis. Mike Pompeo, and we're seeing all these volcanoes erupting in Hawaii. Could it be a sign? Is the Hawaii volcanoes connected to Mike Pompeo's last name and how it sounds like Pompeii with the... I believe it was called Pompeii. Let me double check. Because I hate when I think I'm saying something that's correct is wrong. I always want to be accurate with everything I say. So Pompeii, I'm almost certain, means the volcanoes long ago. Pompeii, yes, I'm correct. So that's Pompeo, Pompeii. Wow. Very interesting connection here, you know? Wow, I'm seeing signs everywhere, I'm telling you. Pompeii is a vast archaeological site in southern Italy's Campania region, near the coast of the Bay of Naples. Once a thriving and sophisticated Roman city, Pompeii was buried under meters of ash and pumice after the catastrophic eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD. The preserved site features, let's see, there's more was I thought. The preserved site features excavated ruins of streets and houses that visitors can freely explore. So basically, it was like Atlantis, but this was Atlantis. I don't know. It was like, could it have been a man-made island? It's sunk in the ocean, and let's just hope that doesn't happen with the man-made islands over there in Dubai. You know, I mean, I really respect their ingenuity for creating man-made islands, but they need to give that money back to the poor people. You know, the rich shouldn't be cashing in on it. You know, it's not right. It makes me angry how rich are flourishing and poor people are dying. It is not right. You know, so there needs to be a revolution, man. Truly needs to be a revolution. So let's just hope that Palm Jumeirah, the Palm Tree Island in Dubai, doesn't sink. But this Pompeii was taken out by volcanoes, and how weird that it's connected to Hawaii volcanoes and Mike Pompeo. What? Pompeo, Pompeii? Yo, I'm seeing a sign here. A connection indeed. Man. So, I guess we'll just show some quick images. The best, have statues of people on the floor. Strange. Now this is like in ruins, so look at this Colosseum thing. That's still in pretty good shape, I must say. Let's see here. Pompeii is connected to Hercules in Greek mythology. So this just shows like a example of, not really that great, but I mean it's a small portion of Pompeii. I think that's like a renovated area. I guess they keep certain areas in the same condition for archaeological significance. Um, that's weird. Pompeii sounds like Mike Pompeo. Yo, that's got me tripping, man. How weird is that? Mike Pompeo and then Pompeii. That's weird. So he said that Iran will never again have carte blanche to dominate the Middle East. I don't know what carte blanche is. You know what carte blanche is? I don't know what it is. What are they talking about here? That it's a type of carte blanche, I guess, is a metaphor of ego and conceitedness. Next story. Bieber and other Christian celebrities use social media to respond to Santa Fe shooting. That's good, you know. A lot of times when stuff happens, the celebrities stay quiet. Now they're starting to rise up and use their voice. So I congratulate celebrities on that. And we need more celebrities saying the UFOs they've been seeing. So that'll be a topic of the day for another day. Our enemies will take note. Haspel sworn in as CIA director. There's just too many people coming and going in Trump's cabinet. In pictures, Hawaii's Klau volcano erupts. Wow, look at the devastation. Look how far it's stretching. Like literally, lava flows from fissures near Pahoa, Hawaii, and is splitting Hawaii in half. Look at this. You would think that that's an earthquake, right? But the molten lava is burning up to the ground. And look at that. It's dissolving the islands. Why is all this stuff happening? Why are all these volcanoes erupting in Hawaii like non-stop? God's getting our attention, I'm telling you. Is it God causing it? I mean, I don't know. Like I said in a previous video, I think it's demons that are trying to rise up. That they're probably rising up because Jesus' return is almost here. So the closer we get to Jesus' return, the more paranormal activity is going to spike. So, and it could be demons trying to release from the center of the earth through volcanoes. Police released video from Trump resort shooting. There was a Trump resort shooting. I didn't even hear about it. I think it was the one in the Middle East. Yeah, it's crazy. Trouble in big food. America's cereal, soda, and soup companies are in turmoil. What? This is General Mills, Campbell's Soup, Hershey, and Pepsi. Now, could this affect Coca-Cola, Sprite also, Dr. Pepper? We've all seen Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Dr. Pepper, Sprite as like Budweiser, where they're the top companies, like M&M. They're the ones that are always putting money in the Super Bowl commercials, you know? We thought they would never go out of business. What? Now we're seeing all just because of the trade war with China and the stock market and free fall and limbo. You know, this is weird stuff here, so. We thought these companies would be around forever. Now they're saying Budweiser may be going out of business. Really? I doubt that with the way people love to drink. You know, I doubt Budweiser will ever go out of business. Teen who started a fire that burned 48,000 acres ordered to pay $36 million. Yeah, right. Like him or his parents really have that money. That's absurd. They definitely need to throw him in juvie longer. You know? It's absurd. $38 million. I mean, yeah, he does need... His parents do need to pay some money. But at the same time, not that much. What is fair? I don't know. 2,000, 5,000? I mean, it's a lot of money, you know? I mean... It really hurts the parents, you know? And it's not the parents' fault. They could raise a kid to be the perfect Christian in the world. If that kid decides he wants to join the dark side, you know, and live for Satan, there's nothing anyone could do to stop it. I hate to say, you know, you could try to raise a kid up to be the most perfect religious person, but if they decide to flip, you know, if they want to snap, they're going to snap. I hate to say it, but there's no way you could prevent it. Now, when it comes to these stories of the kids taking their parents' guns out of cabinets and all that, I do agree that, you know, it's the parents' responsibility, and they should, if they can be thrown in prison for not locking their guns up, at least a fine or something, you know. And it's just, it's carelessness, neglect. They just leave their guns laying around on the kitchen table, you know. It's absurd. It needs to stop. Netflix announces multi-year production deal with the Obamas. So I hope Trump can have a reality show while he's president also. Everyone deserves, especially every president, deserves like a reality TV show where they can tune in every day. Now, press conferences and all that's not the same. It should be like a TV show live from the president that we could be able to tune in on. I remember Hugo Chavez was trying to do something like that, make it very cool, entertaining. In like a TV show, you turn on the news every day at a certain hour and you see the president talking. Hugo Chavez had the right idea, but he started going a little bit off the wagon, saying weird stuff like, we must start a new hybrid of a revolution. Is he talking about literally a hybrid, half human, half animal hybrid? Was he talking literally? It's never good to use that word. And it boggles my mind how they use the word so much for cars like it's the norm, you know? Oh, hybrid. Buy a hybrid car today, you know? And it's just, it's all glorifying half human, half animal hybrids. It's all desensitizing us. It's all indoctrinating. That's a hard word to say. Indoctrinating us all, and it's all you know, desensitizing us all, and hypnotizing us in to start welcoming the hybrid talk. You know, they started it with cars, saying, "Oh, hybrid cars," you know, the coolest new thing, you know, and it's trying to brainwash people to bring in the real hybrids, you know. So it's weird stuff. Weird stuff indeed. I remembered Hugo Chavez said in a blackout, he said, "We're still here. We have not disappeared." Ha ha ha. When he's holding his teacup. It sounded like he was mocking the rapture. We haven't disappeared. You know, Hugo Chavez was a very strange person. You know? Man drives into his family's table at a restaurant, killing his daughter, police say. I believe every restaurant should have like barriers on all sides of the walls to stop cars from crashing in. There's a lot of restaurants that have that. There should be a law that said all restaurants should have that. Next story is an egg a day might reduce your risk of heart disease, study says. Well, yeah, because you're getting all the stem cells from eggs. You're getting all the vital embryonic stem cells without having to use inject it out and all that science stuff. You're getting it straight from the egg itself. So that is why eggs are very healthy. And a lot of people say, oh, but eggs are so high in cholesterol. People don't know that it's the good cholesterol. And I believe the good cholesterol is HDL. Now you think by the name of it, you think it's mean high by the word H. And then LDL, you think it mean low. You think HDL would be the bad one, right? But is HDL cholesterol good? Is HDL the good cholesterol? And it says here, yes, LDL is a bad cholesterol. HDL is a good. It's weird because, see, when we hear HDL, we think high as in bad. But it means high density, which means good. And LDL means low density. So the key word density means that when it's high density, that means it clears out, purifies. LDL means it's low, which means it doesn't. That's what clogs up arteries, cause heart attacks. And you find LDL, the bad cholesterol, in grease, a lot of food with grease. But the good cholesterol, HDL, is found in eggs. So when you see the eggs say 60-80% cholesterol, don't be alarmed. Just know that that's the good cholesterol. It's like bacteria. There's good bacteria that we need to survive, And then there's the bad bacteria, like parasites and all. So it's weird, you know. We can't live without germs. There's germs out there that are good, you know. It's like yogurt. It's a type of I forgot what yogurt is made out of, the cultures and all, and enzymes, but it has some kind of bacteria, which is a good bacteria. It's called intestinal flora, you know. So you can't live without that, you know. And the good bacteria found in yogurt, it purifies, cleans your body out, you know. So it's weird, you know, how we think HDL, cholesterol, means high as in bad, but it's really the opposite. Just like with germs, we think, oh, all germs are bad, but there's good germs that we can't live without. So it's weird stuff. Very weird indeed. So now we're going to get into the topic of the day. Here we go. Not to mute the music here. Okay. So, topic of the day. What Pope Francis said, I do not agree with at all. He's really been going on the fringe lately. I thought I had this phone charging. What happened? What's going on with this phone? What? Oh my god. This thing isn't charging all of a sudden? This is weird. Don't you hate technology, man? Stuff keeps messing up all the time. This plug isn't charging the phone. I thought it was. I hate it, man. Stuff keeps messing up all the time. I have to look into that cord. I think maybe the cord's messed up. And that's not even an old cord, too, so it gets on my nerves. You know, I hate how technology can be such junk sometimes, you know? I hate how technology can be such junk sometimes. Especially cords. Why do cords mess up all the time? Why can't they make a cord that never messes up? Oh my god. It really gets to me, man. How technology isn't perfect. We are in the 21st century, for crying out loud, and we can't even have cords that work. Phone's about to die on me, man. So the topic of the day, what Pope Francis said, man. He said a bunch of weird stuff, man. Like the observatory was called Lucifer Observatory. What in the world kind of stuff is that? Stuff that Pope Francis has said. I mean, there's so much to really think. I can't really think off the top of my mind. There's like stuff that he was saying, oh, poor Lucifer, how we feel so sad for you that you fell. I mean, yeah, it's like to say, you know, how it happened, but it's like the whole sympathy for the devil thing. What is up with this lighting? I need to put a light here. I'm going to do it tomorrow. For sure, for sure. I keep saying it, but I'm serious. I'm going to put a light here because I'm tired of this lighting always messing up. So, I mean, I get it. You know, it's one thing to say, you know, oh, it's sad how the angels fell and all. But at the same time, they're having too much sympathy for the devil that it's like the song here. And there ain't no sympathy for the devil here, man. You know, it doesn't fly here. Oh, I'm so tired. Tired. It's not right. Pope Francis. You know, his real name is, I forgot his first name, but I know his last name is Bergoglio. Again, always have to double check everything. Pope Francis' real name is something Bergoglio. It is Jorge Mario Bergoglio. Bergoglio. What does that sound like? Bergoglio. What does it sound like? Leo. It's the middle part, Gog. Check it out. Right there. Now, Gog is in Revelation. It says, Gog and Magog are two evil creatures that are going to come out from the ocean. They're going to rise up and they're going to make war with the world that will establish the mark of the beast. Now, I'm not saying that Pope Francis is Antichrist and is going to establish the mark of the beast, but I am saying Pope Francis is starting to ease the world into accepting new philosophies and new things that are out of the spectrum of normality, like saying that God created people to be gay and that he loves gay people. I mean, I like how the Pope is trying to make peace with gay people, but at the same time, you know, it seems like he's surrendering, giving in. You know, you don't say that it's right, you know, say that God doesn't like it, but at the same time, he's not going to send people to hell for it. If they live a good life, they don't hurt anyone, they'll go to heaven. But God is not too pleased with it, you know, because God created man and woman, and you know, and it's like it seems that it creates too much perversion, you know, when people are gay, you know. Again, I really don't like to bash anyone like that, you know. I mean, I do agree we should all live together in harmony and peace, you know. But the way I see it is God didn't create... he wanted us all to be man and woman, you know. Now, if people want to be gay, you know, I mean, you know, that's their choice. I'm just saying that it's not the way God wanted. But doesn't mean God hates them either, you know. So the way... I get what Pope Francis is doing. He's trying to make peace. But the way he's going about it is wrong. You know, he's doing it the wrong way, you know. You know, he's like basically saying it's okay and it's not right, you know. Because next thing you know, you have gay marriage adopting children, and then the children suffer because when they're adopted into gay families, even if they say they agree to go to those type of parents, later on they get in fights and then they change their minds, and that's why they end up running away and stuff. Look what happened to Rosie O'Donnell's adopted daughter. She got very angry that she was forced to be adopted into two women parents, and I believe this was 2, 3, 4 years ago. She got in a fight with Rosie O'Donnell and she ran away, and she said she hated her for adopting her into a two-woman parents. So that's a very clear example on how bad it can get when you force kids to be adopted into gay parents. You know, not only will they end up hating the parents when the fights happen, but also, you know, they get harassed in schools and stuff, and they could be the next school shooters because they're harassed so much, or they commit suicide, you know. So it is a very serious topic here. You know, I don't agree they should have allowed gay marriage. Call it a civil union. There's no reason to have it a marriage, you know, because the only reason they wanted to have it a marriage is so they could legalize gay people adopting, and that's not good. I don't think gay people should be adopting children because it forces them to grow up and live in the same of the same parents, you know. and it's not right, you know, because like I said, they get in fights, they end up hating the gay parents, and also they get harassed in schools, and it's really bad. It's to the point where they not just calling them names in schools, they actually start beating them up. And when they beat them up, it ain't like no comical boxing match here. I mean, they really beat them up to like bloody pulps, even near death. For all we know, a lot of these kids they die from being beaten up. You know, I mean, you get one very hard broken nose, you start gushing blood, you could bleed to death from it. You know, or if you hit your head on the ground, you could die of a tumor, concussion, or something. I remember one time I was in middle school, when I was leaving school for the day. I saw these two kids, man. They picked up this other kid. They picked him up and they flipped him over and slammed his head on the concrete. You know, and I remember that he wasn't even able to move or anything. He passed out. For all I know, he could have died. You know, I remember just getting so scared that I didn't want to, because it happened right next to me. And I was so shocked. I was like, yo, the first thing I did was start walking fast away from it. Then I saw the two punks running off to the back of a Circle K store, you know. It was a 7-Eleven store. You know, all that stuff is traumatizing, you know, because kids can die from that. If they get slammed when they're being picking up in the air and then they slam them on their head on the concrete, not only can their neck snap, they could die from a concussion to the head. They start bleeding to death inside their head, you know. So it's crazy how a simple little scuffle of, what is this starting with? Someone talking about a person's mom or something, or parent, or they start, you know, or someone is cheating on this guy's girl, or whatever it be, whatever the case be. Or this person owes so much money to this person, so they go and beat him up and killing him in the process. It's very insane how this world is. How people kill people over stupid things like this. And a lot of times they don't kill them on purpose, it's on accident. They beat them up to the point where they kill them, but still, even though it's an accident, they know they're still crossing the line. Like, for example, picking this kid up and slamming his head to the ground. You know, when you do something like that, you know you are have a high probability you're going to kill the person. You know, so there's no justifying that. That is not self-defense. Self-defense, in my opinion, is, you know, is fighting back when you're being threatened with your life. That's self-defense. You know, so it's very, very crazy, man, you know, and this is why I don't agree with the Pope said here. It's not right at all. It's not right at all, and I hate to say it, but I don't think this is going to be the last controversial and crazy thing the Pope is going to say. Now, it's weird, his name Bergoglio. And also, to throw this into the mix, you know that rapper girl, I think she's, 14? Her name is Danielle Bregoli. Now again, Bregoli sounds like Gog a little. Bregoli. Gogli. You know? Gog. The whole Bregog. Her name is Danielle Bergoglio. Bergog. It's very weird stuff, you know? Pope's name is Bergoglio. And Danielle Bregoli. She spells her last name Bregoli, so Goli, maybe Gog. It's close to that. And then with the Pope's name here, Bergoglio has Gog in it, like Gog and Magog. And now she goes by the rap name Bad Baby. Like I said in a previous video, one of the weirdest things she said was on the same day, I believe it was like 2-3 hours before, of the Las Vegas shooter that shot all those people in the hotel, from his hotel room in the country concert. Danielle Bergoli, she posted on her Instagram and Twitter, Facebook, and all that, of her standing in front of the Hollywood sign, and mountains in the back on fire, the forest, and then Um, she had her arms crossed or something like that, and then a caption that said, "This world is ours, they just in it." And then she had an emoji of devil horns like that. Now it's weird because she said, "This world is ours, they just in it." Now what is she talking about? This world's the evil people's, and us Christians are just in it. So when the Christians leave, Danielle Bergoli, she's like saying that this is going to be her world. It's like she's saying she wants to stay behind after the rapture with the devil horns emoji. I mean, she's very strange how she posted that 2 hours before the Las Vegas shooting. Did she know that was going to happen? Did she hear some ghost voice or something? And did she mock God with that? You know, is she on some crazy level of evil here? That's why, you know, she's 14 and cussing up a storm like that. Girl Lil Tay that's only 9 years old. What next? You know, 5-6-year-old kids cussing and it's all legal. I don't think that should be allowed on YouTube. You know, kids cussing on YouTube should not be allowed. Now, if it's over 18, you know, it's freedom of speech, and you sign in, you know, they have their right to cuss if they're over 18. They're adults. That's freedom of speech. You know. There's no way they can ban that, but kids cussing, yes, they do need a ban on that. So now we'll go ahead and end the topic of the day with a couple of quick EVPs. I call them marathon EVPs. Now, EVP stands for electronic voice phenomenon. Basically means we pick up the ghost voices through the audio on the apps on the cell phones, and they whisper. And these apps, it picks up the whispers that we can't hear, but it picks it up and it types it out. And to let Christians know this is not occultism, I always pray to God every time I do this. Here we go. Let's get it going real quick. Alright. So it's weird stuff indeed. Danielle Bergoli. Now I'm not saying for sure that she knew about it, was on the level of evil, but the timing is very strange. And what she said there is just, you know, no. So here we go. Hopefully we get EVPs that mention what I was talking about here. Okay, I was doing that at the Twilight Zone. Okay, so on this phone we got the words. Now there was a very interesting word here. Manure in his mouth. Could that be talking about Rael? Now I don't like to bash Rael, you know, because I would like us to come together, have a meeting of the minds, and summon apparitions from our Lord to show the Ray aliens that Jesus is a spirit and he's coming back to bring us into superhuman bodies, not through human cloning, you know. But manure in his mouth, could it be talking about him because of the lies deception he says that human cloning is the eternal life? You know, I want us to come together. I want us to, you know, summon apparitions from God together. And the next word, sneezing. So that's weird. Okay, this phone got the words manure in his mouth. That was funny when I saw that. I was laughing. Could that mean someone else? I don't know. Putin, Iran, Syria, Assad. I don't know. This word got the words. This phone got the words dairy, Derry, beating, resentment, Ramenendi, hard words to say, Chancellor, and Hematoxylin. So, oh my god, it's gibberish. Okay, manure in his mouth. That was a funny one right there. And this, okay, we'll go ahead and do 4 more. Alrighty then, let's see here. What word was of great significance here? I forgot which one it was. Let me see. It is trace. Tambuki. That's a funny word. Tambuki. Faceplate. Revelation. Vapor. Ordinate. Corporateness. So I don't know what to make of this here. A vapor of revelation. Huh. Okay, this one got the words. Angel of light. Bullion. Insecurity. Cinema. Advocatus. And our R. Insecurity and cinema. Oh, don't tell me that's another movie theater shooting. You see, I hate how movie theaters are very lax on security. People can still come in from the exits. And I'm not talking about the exits and the actual screenings where the movies are. I'm talking about like the main back exit. People can still come in and even to the front hide a gun and they still slip through, you know. So security is very laxed, you know. And I believe there should not be no back exit. Everyone should exit the same way they enter from the front. So I completely disagree with movie theaters that have a back main exit. Now I'm not talking about the exits that are in the actual theaters where the movie's being shown. Of course, yeah, they try locking all those. But the main exits in the back, all it has to take is just someone leaving to leave the door open for someone else to go in. So hopefully it's not another movie theater shooting that it's saying here. Insecurity and cinema. But there needs to be a reformity happening. Seriously. They need to seal off all main back exits. It's not right. Everything's all messed up, man. I'm telling you. Okay, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, here we go. And the last two, we want to talk to you. Vomiting glass, immunity, dark sky, infinite, gambo, riveting, and chilly. Now this is interesting when it says dark sky infinite. I think it means that the universe is infinite. It just keeps going and going, man. The universe will never stop expanding. It's crazy, right? They say, is the universe accelerating as it's expanding, or is it slowing down? If it does slow down, could it reverse? If it reverses, could it reverse completely and eliminate everything in sight? So it's weird stuff. But from what it's saying here, it says dark sky infinite, which means that, yo, space is just going to keep going on forever, man. What? It's crazy stuff to think about, man. You know, there's no end in the universe. It just keeps going and going and going. Whoa. Now they say, what if a universe expands so much, so fast, that the orbits start to wobble and weaken and spread out? So it's weird stuff. I don't think planets in heaven will orbit. Maybe they'll just stay put. They won't need a sun because, like it says in the Bible, God will be the light. So a lot of words here. It's very fascinating. I like this. Dark sky infinite. That's really awesome. That's cool. I like that right there. This one has the word, last one says, burn, just do not go. Chert, C-H-E-R-T. So it sounded like it was mainly meaning to say shirt. Shirt, chert, that's funny. Fountain, braid, piling, winds. Just do not go. Go where? It doesn't say. It does say fountain. Just do not go to the fountain. That's weird. Braid, piling, winds? I have no idea. And what does burn have to mean with all this? That's strange. Is there something of a fountain that could be burning? What's a main fountain area in the world? I don't know. They have a lot of fountains in Italy and France and all. That's weird stuff, man. I really don't know. Fountain. Fountain can be anywhere. So, it's weird stuff, man. But the best EVP I think we got tonight was, I like the infinite dark sky. That was cool. The vapor revelation was interesting. This one right here, manure in his mouth, that was funny. Is that real? Let's see here. This one, let's see. Yeah, the insecurity cinema. This got me very nervous, man. I really hope it's not another movie theater shooting. Insecurity cinema. And, was it this one that was interesting? Just do not go to the fountain. That was weird. So one could be talking about a movie theater, and then this one talking about what? Infinite Dark Sky was cool. The Manure's Mouth. You know, those are very funny ones. Very funny EVPs we got. So I don't know what to make of it. But big things are happening. Jesus is returning. Amen. Hallelujah. So please like, share, subscribe. Please tell everyone you know to like, share, and subscribe. Please tell everyone you know that what the Pope said wasn't right. You know, that he has the best intentions, but he's going about it the wrong way. So we'll leave it there. Good night. God bless you all. Jesus is returning. Hallelujah. Believe. Hallelujah. Because it is coming.